Greetings, everyone. I'm Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to Pick and Day number 23 of my 31 favorite Blind Buy albums of all time. That's right, we're doing it each and every day here this month in October. Here in 2025, those albums that we bought where we hadn't heard a lick of the band's music prior to buying the album, but we saw that album in a record store, in a CD shop, at a flea market, at a yard sale, in a catalog, print catalog. Maybe you saw it online. You just happened to see that cover image and you were like, oh, look at that. That looks really cool. Or maybe like the band or artist had been recommended to you by someone else, trusted friend, relative, whoever. But still you hadn't heard any of it. And you just were going by someone else's recommendation and you just took a chance. Maybe you had a bunch of albums to choose from in the catalog of this band or artist and you saw the one, you saw the one album cover that really kind of spoke to you and kind of stand it out, and you're like, all right, I'm going to take a chance on that. You ordered it, you picked it up, you brought it home, and you were like, wow, this is great. I'm so happy I took that chance on that album. Now I want to hear more. This is a perfect example of that, as is each and every day here this month. So this particular one, this is another one of those bands that I had heard about, had never heard. And this was during a time where I was gobbling up in the early and mid 90s every progressive rock band I could possibly get my hands on, especially the ones from the 70s that I kind of missed out on early on, right? So this is an album that was released in November 1972, recorded at Dirks Studios at Pullum Stomhelm, Germany, as well as the House of Music in West Orange, New Jersey. Sterling Sound, New York, and those last two, most of it was done at Dirks, but those were the remixing and remastering, and later editions were done in those other places in New York City and in New Jersey. Produced by Peter Hauck for Bacillus Records, and then later on Passport Records. I'm talking about the second studio album from Nectar, A Tab in the Ocean. I mean, come on. Look at that right there. Is that not a work of beauty? That is pretty damn cool. It's kind of psychedelic. It's definitely prog. It's definitely 70s, right? This is very early 70s, and I'm trying to who did the artwork for this? Geez, I don't know. I don't know if it says it in here or not. But anyway, an amazing cover artwork, and this was my first bite into the world and the music of Nectar. And I would fall in love with this, not only because, prog rock band, of course, but I like the fact that Nectar has like a psychedelic edge and they have a hard rock edge as well. So some of this stuff rocks pretty well. And of course, it's got loads of great Hammond organ. There's Mellotron here and blistering guitars, really good vocals and whatnot. So, of course, this is the lineup, the classic lineup of Roy, the late great Roy Albrighton on guitars, lead vocals, Mick Brockett, listed as a member of the band, but he was their lighting guy. He did all the projections and the visual effects and all that kind of stuff. We got Alan Freeman, keyboards, backing vocals, Mellotron. Derek, just call him Mo Moore, bass and backing vocals, hell of a nice guy. And the late great Ron Howden on drums and percussion. And like I said, produced by Peter Hauck, engineered by Dieter Dirks at his studio. So what do we have on this album? Well, we only have a few songs, 5 tracks to be honest. You've got all of side one is A Tab in the Ocean, the title track, all 16 and a half minutes of it. It's dramatic, it's rocking, it's heavy, there's great Hammond, there's great guitar work. It's a really great song. Really great song. We talked about this album at length on a recent episode of In the Proxy, where we were looking at a bunch of epic tracks. Did a whole prog epic battle royal episode. We had some folks who really dug this particular album, a couple that really weren't all enamored with it, or specifically with this particular track, but that's all of side one. Side two, you got Desolation Valley. Again, good, dark, heavy, proggy, psychedelic stuff here. Desolation Valley is killer. You got the Shorter Waves, then, of course, Crying in the Dark and King of Twilight. Now, Crying in the Dark and King of Twilight are great album closers on here. Again, just killer guitar work and organ and just good, dark, pulsating, driving stuff. Really good. Now, of course, for those of you who might remember, Iron Maiden did a cover of King of Twilight way back when in 1984. It was the B-side to their Aces High single. Of course, Aces High off the great album Power Slave. And they were big Nectar fans. Specifically, I think Steve Harris, big fan of Nectar and Jethro Tull and Genesis and Yes and Rush and Gentle Giant and all that kind of stuff. A progger at heart, even though he's been playing metal for a million years, right? But yeah, there's some great songs. Like I said, Waves is probably like the least memorable track on here. It's still good, but like, man, the title track, Desolation Valley, Crying in the Dark, King of Twilight, all absolute classics from this band. And again, an English band, although they lived in Germany for so many years. A lot of people thought they were a German band. Right? So you probably wonder, well, Pete, you haven't really talked about where you actually saw this. I honestly don't remember. I know this is the first one I bought. I know I hadn't heard them before I got it. And I know I picked this one first because of the album cover. I don't remember. And I know I had the original Bacillus CD release. This album has been, the Nectar catalog has been reissued, remixed, remastered so many times. I've had probably 3 or 4 different editions of all the classic Nectar albums. They just kept coming out. It's, one original CD mix had CD version had the especially Remember the Future, right? There's been so much stories about the crappy mix, and then let's restore the original mix, and so I had a version of Remember the Future where Roy's guitar was turned down, was way down low in the mix. And it's just and that's one of the first one that I got. It's like, oh no, you got the wrong CD edition of that. You got to get the other mix, which the original album mix, and blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay, so much stuff. And then they remixed it again and remastered it again. And same thing with this. This is what edition is this? The 2014, 2011 issue of this. So this is the Belaphon, I guess, version. It's from it'sallaboutmusic.com. Whatever. I don't know. There's so many of them. But yeah. I don't know where I actually got this. I don't remember if I bought this online from either Symphonic Music or Laser's Edge or CD Treasures. It was one of the three. And then I remember buying the correct mix at, I think it was the first Nearfest I ever went to. Or not the correct mix of this, but I bought another version of this and the correct version of Remember the Future at the first Nearfest. I bought it from one of the vendors. Again, I could have bought it from Ken. I could have bought it from Greg Walker. I don't remember. But I know it was one of those things where I saw an image of this. I remember it was probably in a catalog that I saw it listed. But then I somehow got an image of what the cover looked like, either in a catalog, a physical catalog itself, or I did go online and look. Because again, this is the early days of the internet, so there's really not all that much I was really looking at online for anything. But I remember seeing this. You have a bunch of early Nectar albums or classic era Nectar albums from the 70s, and you're like, all right, pick and choose which one you want to start with first. And this is the one I went with first, based on this cover. So, anyway, that's my pick for today. There they are. There are the guys, right? The classic lineup in all their glory. Let us know what you think of A Tab in the Ocean, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 23, day number 23. We'll see you tomorrow for number 24. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, get the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options all down below. Thanks in advance for all your support, folks. It's greatly appreciated, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day. Take care, and stay tuned for Friday morning at the Funhouse tomorrow. Professor's Picks tomorrow. We've got the UK connection. We've got album homework assignment on Saturday. I'm just back from my little mini trip away, so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. You got a couple episodes of album homework assignment on Saturday, and then Sunday, ranking the albums of Iceberg. Myself and George Lemie. Stay tuned for that, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.